This is an Army Today Extra. Gail McCabe talks to General George Casey Jr., the Army Chief of Staff, on the return to 12-month deployments.
General Casey, there has been a significant change in deployment tours. Can you talk to me about that?
That's a very important step for us. It's a very important step in our quest to put the Army back in balance. And I've been talking since last summer, really, about the status of the Army. And I wrestled hard with finding the right words to describe the condition of the Army. But there's no question that we're stretched. And so I came up with the term out of balance, that we're so consumed with the current efforts that we can't do what we need to do elsewhere as quickly as we like. And we certainly are operating at a tempo that we can't sustain for soldiers and families.
Well, what are your expectations out of bringing us back to a 12-month deployment tour?
Coming back to a 12-month tour with the growth that we've also accelerated by 2 years starts to put us in a position where, one, soldiers will deploy only for 12 months, not for longer, and two, with the added growth, they will spend increasingly more time at home before deployments.
The ripple effect of that is, I'm sure, going to have some significant impact on the families.
It is, and when you combine that with a third element, which is we are testing now a 6-month, what we call a reset model, so that when soldiers return from an extended deployment, for the first 6 months that they're home, they're in a period where nothing is really expected of them except to reorganize, to reestablish accountability, to get their non-commissioned officer education in other schools, and to basically get to know their families, and then also to reflect on what it is they've just done. And at the end of that 6-month period, we are adapting our institutions, our personnel and equipment institutions, so that they're at a level of personnel and equipment readiness, they can begin training for whatever comes next.
Will we still be able to meet the combatant commander's needs?
We're certainly able to meet the demands from theater now. However, every combatant commander has additional requirements that they need and that will arise, and we'll just have to deal with those as they come up.
Overall, just looking at the Army as a whole, how would you say we're doing? Tactically, strategically, family-wise, equipment-wise, how do you think we're doing?
I think we're doing very well. In fact, our soldiers already have made a difference and will continue to make a difference in Iraq and Afghanistan. I think we're getting through a very difficult period here. What I tell the soldiers and families, the next 2 years will be tough. But I think as the growth increases and we hold steady where we are, gradually things are going to start to improve in terms of dwell time and deployed time. And I think that's important. I think the soldiers and families need to understand that there looks like there'll be some daylight coming up here. And then I hate to predict that because we're at war and there's no guarantees, but that is the direction that we're trying to shape and trying to take the Army. And we have a plan to put ourselves back in balance by the end of 11, and by that time we expect to be at a ratio of 1 year out, 2 years back. We will be finished our modular conversions. We'll be almost finished our rebalancing. And it'll be a different Army. It'll be a 21st century Army ready for the challenges of the 21st century. And that's where we're headed. And we've taken the first few good steps here over these last couple of months. So we're okay.
That's an Army Today Extra from the Soldiers Media Center in Washington. For the latest military news and information, go online at army.mil.